Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Alex Mason, member of the league. Joining me, sitting as always to my right, is League Commissioner and General Manager of D-Butters, David Kiarsis. Thank you for joining us tonight, Commish. Tonight, we're going to talk about some playoff scenarios, touch on your power rankings, make some predictions, go through some scenarios, and see if we can wrap it all into a nice bow on it in 30 minutes or less. That's tonight's goal. So, jumping right in, going to start with your power rankings. First four teams, you got Pat, RG Three-Way, Joe, 40s, Alex, Mace's Aces, Jason, soon to be champ. No real questions about the top four and where you have them placed. Just want to get your opinion quickly on two of the teams, what you feel about Joe's team maybe moving forward. What are your thoughts real quickly on Joe and 40s?
Well, I think Joe, he was one of the more consistent teams. I think one of the things I've been talking a lot about throughout the year is teams' inconsistencies and that kind of separating everybody a little bit from RG Three-Way and 40s, because 40s was really good at the beginning of the season, had a couple bad weeks. He's had some injuries, which is a concern in some of those bad weeks, but has picked it back up a little bit recently. I think just the only thing that I think worries me for the playoffs is that we've seen those duds recently, and I think his team could be a candidate to do that in the playoffs and just end up bowing out early.
A couple guys coming back from injury of note: Deshaun Jackson, Vincent Jackson, the Jackson brothers. Both hopefully might be important members to this team.
Absolutely.
Moving down the road. Quickly moving down the power rankings, we get to 5 quickly. Now I just want to. We got Kevin and Ansorge rounding out the bottom. I don't think anyone has a question about that, or we'll just we'll mention them and that's about all we'll do. But 5 through 8, you got Keith at 5, Sample at 6, David at 7, you, and Kamoli at 8. Explain yourself real quick. How'd you come to these conclusions? I might have gone a little differently. Tell us what you were thinking.
Well, I think they all obviously kind of have holes that we've talked about on the last podcast, but I think Keith staying at 5 is more just a no one below him did anything to deserve going up higher.
He's 5 and 6. Theoretically, based on what I say, a game away from clinching a playoff spot if he wins that 6th game. So.
Sample, I think, has been the team that I've talked about the most with being inconsistent. Balsardio obviously has the issues at quarterback now, losing Manning, losing Romo, losing Flacco. So I'm not, by any means, is he a team that I think is good. It's just more no one below him did anything to kind of rise above him.
Okay, all right. So I guess I'd have to agree with you in terms of no one doing anything below him, but you don't see the numbers a team like Kamoli has put up over the course of the year, or even yourself.
No, I don't think my team is very good. And
Kamoli,
I just don't like Kamoli's team. I think the Patriots could have some issues now with no Edelman, no Amendola. So I don't feel strongly about Kamoli.
Okay, and Sample, as you said, he's got some of the most mind-boggling wins I've ever seen. Let's see, he had a win scoring 148, a win scoring 165, a win scoring 122, and most recently a win scoring 138. You want to talk about luck? This team should be 5 and 6 at best. Yeah. Sitting there 7 and 4.
Lacey's going to be an important player moving forward if Sample's going to do anything in the playoffs. Because we know he's going to be there. It's just a matter of if he's going to get his first playoff win or not.
I think Sam D's, I think that's the 7th or 8th best team in the league, personally. But, they're not my power rankings. They're yours.
It's also hard to put a team going to the playoffs.
That's
lower than 6.
True. That's true. That is true. So let's move along. Let's start talking about playoff scenarios. We got some big matchups this week. Obviously, we already have 3 teams that have clinched. So there's 3 spots up for grabs. There's theoretically 5 teams battling for them. And if you really want to break it down, it's really 3 teams battling for 1. You have soon-to-be champ and Mace's Aces, myself and Jason.
Yep.
We seem like pretty much locks to be the 4th and 5th seeds. It's just going to be a matter of seeding between us. So let's talk about that interesting final seed. Obviously, it's not going to be the best team in the league, but it's interesting. It creates for a little excitement these last couple weeks of the year. So tell me what you think. Matchups this week, you have yourself playing Ansorge, you have Kamoli playing Sample, and you have, who's the last team? You have, who am I missing? Keith playing Pat. So what do we think is going to happen?
Well, I think you're talking about bringing up Kamoli, which we've seen Kamoli have those big weeks. there is a scenario where the loser of you and Jason, which that's a spot you're in. That'll be our fourth team. The loser of that game, if they then lose week 13, Kamoli wins out. Kamoli very well could have more points than either one of those teams.
Points, yep.
Yeah, see, that's not happening for a team like me. My best bet is to catch Keith. We have the same record. We play each other next week for a spot, and I need Kamoli to lose because of the whole points thing. So, yeah.
That being said, let me get some predictions out of you. You have yourself playing Answords this week. You think your team pulls it out?
Yeah, I think that should be a win for me.
All right, and you have Keith, the team you're trying to chase, playing the number one, 10-1, recently undefeated streak snapped, RG three-way. We had a slow Thursday, to say the least, for both teams.
Yeah. See, now we look at these Thursday results and have some idea how these matchups are going to go, but still got to believe that RG three-way can't pick against him, what he's been doing all year. I got him winning out, and he's going to win the regular season title and enter the playoffs 12-1.
Got him winning out, winning the regular season title, and that might be for some foreshadowing of what else he thinks he's going to win. People to watch out for this week: DeAndre Hopkins play a huge role for Keith. Antonio Brown, obviously, for Pat. Some of the known names. The guy I think needs to play big is going to be Travis Benjamin for Pat. Not necessarily big. I think he needs a solid 15 to 20 points. And an effort like that out of a flex player could be the difference, I think, here. Because
always important early.
Some slow starts. Already got the donut from one of his other flexers.
Yeah.
Other matchups of note this week. The other one is Kamoli and Sample. So great start to the week for Sample.
I originally had Kamoli winning because we just talked about kind of the faults in Sam Dees' lineup, but great start for Sam Dees. I need Kamoli to lose for one of my playoff scenario to kind of play out. Kamoli's got some catching up to do. Might be without Sharkhandrick West. Just another disappointing season for Kamoli.
Another disappointing season. Yep, Sharkhandrick West is questionable at best. I'm looking at Yahoo. This is my one source that I'm using tonight, but it doesn't look good. Replacement player of Lockett. He's got Lockett on his bench. He's not a terrible fill-in, but that Seattle passing game against Pittsburgh, a better defense, I'm not so sure. So what does this mean? If Sam Dees goes on to win, like it looks like he's in good position to do, that puts him at 8-4. 40s could lose. Sam Dees could be looking at a potential first-round bye. But that being said, not as important as the impact of the Kamoli loss. All but eliminating him from playoff contention.
It would need a lot of help. Yeah, we need losses by me and Keith, and then we need me to beat Keith next week.
He would need you to beat Keith, yeah. So a lot would need to go right for Kamoli to have a slim chance. So basically, that sets up quite an exciting weekend because if we can get that matchup, we could have a win and he's in game next week between you and Keith. How do you feel about that?
So the last time I didn't make the playoffs, I had one of those, a win and you're in week 13 game against Keith, which I lost. So I lost to Keith. And obviously we say a lot of stuff to Keith on here. He doesn't like to watch our shows, so he says.
I don't believe it.
But I would love nothing more than to play him, and if nothing else, just to be in it. I'm happy I'm even still in it at 4-7. I don't deserve to be in the playoff talk, but if you get in, you never know, and so we'll see.
That's true. You never know with the receivers that you have. You do never know.
Although they've all been bad. My season, I come into all these seasons thinking my 3 keepers I'm going to be fine, and all 3 of them have had some issues. And probably the main reason why my team hasn't been successful.
I can't think of anyone who's had all 3 keepers hit.
Yeah, that's true too. But those 3 guys.
Those 3 guys you would
expect.
injury,
Cobb hasn't been good. The Nelson injury killed him, which I thought would be a good thing. And then
clearly was not. Jordy Nelson's an elite athlete.
Yeah.
He doesn't get enough credit.
Cobb's not a number 1.
Cobb's not a number 1. You're right about that. So I think.
What do you think? Yeah,
I think you're going to pull it off. I think you're going to pull it off this week against Answorge. He had a good start to the week with Stafford, good start to his Thursday, but then the afternoon games, it didn't go so well for him. And I don't think Keith is going to win. So I see the win and you're in match scenario playing out for next week. I will say I do see myself winning and beating soon-to-be champ and hopefully locking myself in as a 4 seed. I don't think I'll be able to get much better since Sam Dees looks like he's going to find a way to win yet again this week. And it'll probably be touched. Based on the luck he's had, he'll probably win again in week 13 and score like 148 points. I won't catch him for some reason like that, but I did want to make that prediction there. Soon to be champ will end up being the 5th seed. It'll be a quick home and home essentially, almost 1 week in between.
So mine were similar in that I had Sample losing out, so you were the 3 and he was the 4. Mm-hmm. So the first round matchups were different. The same 6 teams.
Yeah, same 6
agree
teams.
On who the 6
I think we agree on who the 6 are going to be,
especially with the hindsight of now.
Because I see you playing Keith next week, and I see you beating him. I may have a little bit of a confirmation bias there because I just want to be proven right about being so down on Keith's team all year. And your victory over him next week to knock him out of the playoffs
would be sweet.
Would solidify that argument I've been making all year. So I'll definitely be pulling for that. I think 7 other league members would be joining me in those efforts as well. So that brings us to our 6. So what do you see happening in those 6? I know you mentioned it. For anyone that didn't read the article, how do you see if you have Sample as a 3 seed against you as a 6 seed in the first round?
I mean, that's what I'm hoping for. If I get in, that's what I want, because I think that's the only chance of me kind of moving on. I mean, however the matchups work out, but I think that the one thing in talking about the power rankings, the top 4 are the 4 best. If the matchups work out, they're going to be the 4 that are playing. If it's me and Sample, I like my chances playing him in the playoffs. But in the end, I think the top 4 are the 4 best and the ones that should be playing in the semis. And then, we've talked about your team. I got you and Pat in the finals. And I don't have enough to pick against Pat. I mean, it's been a long. Pat hasn't won a postseason game since 2009. Lost the quarterfinals 4 years in a row. Won't have to play in the quarterfinals this year.
We're just worried about the way Rodgers has been playing lately. Does that worry you at all?
No, because you still
think
you still want him.
Of course, you still want him. You see that game changer.
I guess it would depend on the matchups a little bit. But no, I don't think he's that anymore. Or at least this year without Jordy.
I think I would have to
agree. And their line is banged up.
I think I would have to agree. He's got some tough matchups at the end of the season. Home to Minnesota.
Who are they playing in the finals?
Week 16 is on the road in Arizona. Don't like that. You don't like that. And then week 15 is on the road against Oakland. You like that.
So let's say.
But they're both on the road.
Okay, so let's say my finals prediction is correct. What make the case for your team hoisting the trophy?
Make the case for my team hoisting the trophy. Studs are going to have to perform. Demaryius Thomas waiting on those breakout games.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to step up. Gurley's gonna have to step up for me. And
he's gonna slow down a little bit.
I just got to make sure I keep getting a consistent 20 to 30 points out of both flex positions. And that's all I need.
I think it's certainly becoming quickly the deepest team through waivers.
Yeah.
Rawls, Allen, big pickups that could help Mace's aces down the line.
All of a sudden, 2 legitimate starting running backs with Marshawn Lynch out for the year. So I got to say I like my running back core, my 3rd wide receiver slot. There's just no game breakers really on the team. You don't have those quarterbacks that are having 40-point games. Yeah. I got it at the running back and wide receiver position. Don't know what I'm going to do about that.
Yeah, I guess you just can't get in those shootouts, but certainly a team that can get it done in the playoffs.
I think it's a competitive
those one and dones in the playoffs. Your team's got to perform a certain way. I think your team has a
matchups will play a big key. Matchups will play a big key.
Probably some more injuries down
I've been looking at him. Trust me. I'm not exactly thrilled about my team's playoff matchups. So, anyway, I think that about wraps it up.
Yeah. Should be an exciting finish. Yeah. Hopefully, I get Keith in that game.
All right. Let's look forward to that. Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Thanks.
Tune in and make sure we're eagerly looking for your reviews. I want to know what all you guys think, especially you, Keith.